Baby, so go. Baby, so go. Baby, so go.
The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTRTV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
The 44 gets loose off of corner number 4. It's going to be a photo finish to the line in the grass, but the 44 will hang on for the win. Here he comes with the crossover. Fellison to the inside. Is it going to be a Las Vegas photo finish? They touch. They wreck. Who's going to get it? Upside down. Who's going to get it?
Fellison gets it.
Ooh, by himself. Now he has the 72 of O'Connor. It's going to be a 2v2 race to the checkers. 2 up top, 2 to the bottom. It's going to be Ingram. It's going to be Rainville. Who's going to get it at the stripe? Photo finish. It's going to be Rainville. Is there enough? This is going to be a close finish. What is going to happen? Is there enough fuel to get him around 2 more corners? He didn't have enough. The final corner. There goes Zach Nichols. Sarah ran out with 3 corners to go, and Zach Nichols will win here at Mosport. And is he going to go for the last-ditch effort? Is he going to use the back bumper? What will Devin Sarah do? We head into corner number 3. He's going to sail it on in there. Does he get to the bumper? He turns him. He turns it for the win. He wrecks him. We saw how Ruddy, is that a word? Ruddy?
I don't know, just go with it.
All right, we'll go with it. We've seen how Ruddy turn 3 is getting. And
So these guys, once again, doubled up, stacked up, and ready to go back green flag racing here behind the iRacing.com Facebook pace car.
don't know where that came from, but we'll let it slide.
What was I thinking?
We're out, in corn country, Newton, Iowa to be exact. Out here is where you'll find the Iowa Speedway. Opening in 2006, this 7th 8th mile oval has held home to some of the spectacular sanctions such as NASCAR, IndyCar, Grand Am, USAC, and tonight, the iRacing Sprint Car Cup strolls into town for the first race of their 12-week season. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to PTRTV. I'm Brandon Kreutz alongside co-commentator Tyler Orn and technical producer Corey Silva. And Tyler, these guys, first race of the season on a pretty big track here. It should be a good show here tonight.
Well, once again, Brandon, I'm very excited for this. And you're right. This is the season opener for Season 2 of the Sprint Car Cup. And, you know, what a great way to kick it off. One of the biggest tracks we're going to race on tonight at the Iowa Speedway, 0.875 miles. This is going to feel a little bit like a super speedway for these cars. You've got progressive banking in the turns, 12 to 14 degrees. And these guys are going to hit some pretty high speeds, over 165 miles per hour.
Yeah, unreal speeds going into this place, but we should be able to see a little bit of multi-groove racing and maybe some side-by-side action here. As Iowa's really a really good track for these guys. You know, sometimes we go to places where these guys hit such high speeds and it's single-file racing all the way around. That's not what I expect to see here tonight, and I do expect these guys to have to move around in their 40-lap feature to try to find the right groove.
No, you're exactly right about that. They're going to have to really move around the track, find out which is the best lane for them in the particular situation. And, you know, they're not going full throttle all the way around this track, but on the straights, they're getting pretty close to it. And there's a lot of comparisons made between Iowa and Richmond due to their similarities in the design. But Iowa's a little more rounded, so I think you're going to see something that's a little bit more faster than what we see at Richmond later this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So these guys are into qualifying at the moment, and looking at some of the time, surprise, surprise, Ryan Sellers over the top of the board so far in qualifying with a 21.759, 21.759 for Ryan Sellers. Rich Foreman up there in that second position, 21.844. So time's not too off from each other, and a lot of these guys only about a tenth apart.
Yeah, and as you look through the field, yeah, Jeffrey Stanton, he's always fast in these cars right now, and in fourth place in qualifying at 21.861. You know, Ron Quinzel, Derek Love, you know, a lot of the same drivers we see. Gwendolyn Old right now in 11th. Just a lot of great competition in this series, and, you know, the best of the best come out on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, absolutely, and these guys going to be ripping around here for qualifying, trying to lay down fast times for about 2.5 more minutes here. So these guys going to be wrapping up here soon and going into a fresh season here, Tyler. So points off the table just for the moment. These guys got 12 weeks to try to wrap them up. And I believe Ryan Sellers ended up being last season's champion.
Yes, Ryan Sellers was last season's champion for Division 1, and congratulations to him for that. And we also should note that, you know, there are at least 2 other races every week that they try to organize to get everybody out for points. So this is one of the many races they're going to have for this season. But, you know, I think you really want to start off well. This is the first big race of the year, and these drivers want to get in victory lane ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like they got 23 drivers looking to attempt to make a start here tonight. The biggest field that I think we've had in one of the broadcasted races. So should be a good one. We will be covering these guys all season long here live on PTRTV. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to get all the live updates here on the channel.
Yeah, a really strong field tonight. I mean, I'm very impressed. But this is also one of the most fun tracks, I believe, for this car.
Looking at our weather for tonight as well. Looks like sitting at a nice, calm 76 degrees. Not too hot, not too cold. Track temperature sitting right at about 77 at this moment, and wind's nothing to be worried about either. So these guys having really beautiful race conditions here tonight, and should put on a good show. You know, track temp sitting right there at 77. These guys, it's not too slick to where you know, they're going to be on the edge of their toes here. But these guys definitely going to want to move around just a little bit.
And they did set up their car for the grooves too. So they, the setup, we should note this is an open series, and these guys, really, and girls do take a lot of time to try and make their car run just right for these conditions.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And yeah, so a lot of time and effort put into this series by all of these drivers. And, you never know. We talked about this in the past. You never know that this is an iRacing official series, more like a league type feel. But these guys just about to roll into feature time now. So now it's that time. We'll roll into your PTRTV starting lineup. Starting on pole inside row number 1 is going to be car number 1, Ryan Sellers, with a quick time, 21.759. Rich Foreman going to be starting to his outside in the second position. Starting inside second row is going to be car number 5, Dan Smith. His outside is going to be car number 4, Jeffrey Stanton. Starting in the fifth position inside third row is going to be car number 13. That's going to be Ron Quinzel. Starting at his outside is going to be Derek Love in car number 2. Austin Rich Miller starting inside of row number 4. In that 7th position, it's going to be car number 8, Austin Rich Miller. Starting at his outside, it's going to be car number 7, Sean Hattenfield. Starting in position number 9 in car number 12, it's going to be Shinsuke Tessima. I am sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Starting in the 10th position is going to be Mitch Dranowski. Tyler?
In 11th, it's going to be the number 18 of Jason Steinhurst. And on Jason's outside, it will be the number 6 of Gwendolyn Old. In 13th, rolling off the field, will be the number 14 of Josh Batista. And on Josh's outside, it's going to be the number 19 of Daryl Weiniger. In 15th tonight is the number 17 of Brian Payne. And on Brian's outside, it will be the 21 of Michael Berthay. In 17th, it's Robbie Swan in the number 9 car. And to his outside, the 22 of Travis James. Starting 19th tonight, it's the 16 of Joseph Segala. And on the outside, in number 20, it is the number 20 of Samuel Martin. Our last 3 drivers who did not qualify is in 21st, D.L. Lemon, 22nd, TJ Hassan, and rounding out the field should be the number 10 and 23rd of Julian Valadez.
That is your starting lineup as the field rolls off a pit road. Now, I feel like I do owe some justice to car number 12 here. Shinsuke Teshima, I believe it's how you pronounce his name now that I'm getting a better look at it. Again, sorry if we pronounced anything wrong. Ryan Sellers going to be leading the field to green and seeing a little bit of a newer wrap on that race car, looking good. These guys are going to warm their tires. They should get one more lap around the Iowa Speedway, I believe.
We should note this race is going to be 40 laps, so considerable lap count. But again, this is a fairly fast track as well.
Yeah, like you said, Tyler, these guys are going to be hitting speeds in excess of 165 miles an hour by the end of these straightaways. So really, really fast pace race, especially for this type of race car. So these guys really going to have to be on the edge of their seats here, figure out, what's going to work and what's not, because if not, we could see some disastrous incidents.
Yeah, there's definitely some anxiety out there, I'm sure. We got a really big field tonight. This is a really fast multi-groove track, and these drivers, I think, are ready to go, but, want to kick off the season in a great way.
So, that being said, the pace car getting ready to pull into the safety of pit lane this time by. And race fans, it's that time for the crowd to get loud, time to pull those belts tight, and for the ignitions to ignite. All of these drivers know that it's time to go, and it's going to be time to lay rubber down at the Iowa Speedway. Pace car pulls into the safety of pit road this time by. Ryan Sellers, your control car. He's on the throttle. Green flag is out for the first time of the season.
So far, so good into turns 1 and 2. They're getting a little bit spaced out, but still getting up to speed.
The field hammers down the back straightaway now making their way down into corner number 3. You see Dan Smith making a move to the inside of car number 7 of Rich Foreman. Foreman trying to back in. You can see the multi-groove. Is it going to be 3 wide? Stanton making a move to the outside.
And you can tell they're getting more strung out, but there's some guys who are taking that inside, some are taking that outside, and look out for that rubber towards the middle of the track. I think that's where a lot of these drivers want to be.
Ryan Sellers got loose out of the lead. Now it's going to be a side-by-side battle, this time out of corner number 4. Car 47, you see him down low. Car 5 on your monitor is going to be Dan Smith looking to the inside. You can see all these guys and what I believe are teammates here trying to fight for the same position. Stan now looking to the outside once again.
And there's just a quartlet of cars right there in the top 4 or 5. Those guys are really trying hard right now, out to a great start. And we're already coming up on lap traffic, I believe.
Now we are, and you can see Dan Smith led that lap that time by. Sellers going to still try to fight to the outside. It's going to be a drag race this time, once again down into corner number 3. These guys going at it early.
Yeah, DL Lemons right now in 22nd position. I'm not sure if he missed qualifying. Oh, caution is out.
Caution flag on the speedway. Looks like it's going to be for Brian Payne. And he's going to be around through the infield grass. I will look back on replay here, and he just got a little bit loose there out of corner number 4 and nearly shot back up the racetrack. Good job keeping that car low, but that's going to be our first caution flag of the night here at Iowa.
Could have been way worse. Great job locking down the car, keeping it off the racing groove. And we talk about how difficult these vehicles are. Real easy for it to get snappy on you, especially in the turns. But hey, I tell you what, if you're DL Lemon, you're really happy you saw that caution flag come out, because he was rapidly seeing the leaders pop up in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, Tyler, I think this is the first time I've said this on a broadcast for these guys. New race leader, and it's going to be a new control car on this restart. Dan Smith up front now.
Yes, we've been so used to seeing Ryan Sellers up front in these first few broadcasts, but Dan Smith, another driver who's shown a lot of speed in these first few broadcasts we've seen. And, we talk about, too, how great Ryan Sellers has been on these starts and restarts. I'll be curious to see now with Dan Smith as the control car, as you mentioned, how that's going to play out, and especially if we start having a lot of restarts, who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you can see how on edge some of these cars are. Even amongst the leaders, there's a lot of movement here. And that's part of something to do with the high speeds that they're running here through these corners. These cars like to move around a little bit. You'll see them twitching through the corners just a bit. And, that's really fast for these cars. They say loose is fast, and that is definitely what you want here in these cars. But these guys riding on edge, and it gets sketchy here sometimes. These guys doing a real fantastic job.
Yeah, I just ran a few practice laps before the broadcast, and I can tell you these cars are extremely difficult. And I know I called it this kind of a quasi-super speedway track for them, but I guarantee you they are not full throttle all the way around this track. They are really having to take a lot of care, and like you say, especially in the turns, it is extremely difficult for these guys to get just a little bit loose, and it's very hard to correct.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see lights still up on the pace cars. We'll have at least 1.5 more laps around this place before going back to green. So you can see top 5 really hasn't shifted too much. Dan Smith up there in the lead. Ryan Sellers back there in second. He's been trying to fight hard on the outside to hold that lead position back. Jeffrey Stanton, he's been trying to make moves. He's up there still in a podium spot in that 3rd position. Rich Foreman back there in 4th, and he's going to be a contender, I believe, too. Derek Love all the way up into the top 5 as well now.
Yeah, Ron Quinzel in 6th, Sean Hatfield in 7th, Mitch Drewski in 8th. Gwendolyn Old is back in 9th, and Austin Rich Miller rounds out your top 10. So, like I say, we talked about before, there's a lot of talented drivers in this field. And, again, this is kind of like pack racing a little bit. And if you're running around 10th place, you've got to be thinking in the back of your mind, hey, if a few of these guys up front, like we saw, I think in our last broadcast, make a mistake, have a few wrecks, you could be right there in contention to win the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, Light's still up on top of the pace car. I was hopeful that we'd get the one to go that time by, but these guys got to be pacing around just a little bit further. And, you know, we talked about in pre-race, kind of during qualifying there, that this was going to be a really multi-group racetrack. And you saw that just in the couple of laps that we had there, the first 5 laps that we've had green. These guys were all over the place. You saw guys from the very bottom groove, middle groove, and even like Jeffrey Stanton running all the way against that outside wall trying to make something work, Tyler. Really impressive showing so far.
Yeah, you know, we've noticed with these cars, you know, a lot of times drivers want to stay towards the bottom, but I believe it was at IRP we saw a lot of guys riding way up high, but also towards the middle. So I think it's a product of not only these cars, but also the progressive banking that we have here at Iowa. I think it's 12 to 14 degrees, and because you have that tiered degree of banking, it lets those guys move around a lot.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you see now Lights off on top of the iRacing official pace car, and single file restarts here for the iRacing Sprint Car Cup. So they'll stack themselves up and I assume try to ride that high line around till they catch the green flag here. So you can see all of these cars. I'd expect anybody up in the top 5, even the top 10 at this point, to be able to contend up there for the race lead. And these guys really, really fast. All these guys up in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot. And again, it's early. We're only on lap 5, so a long ways to go in this one.
The iRacing official pace car pulls down to the safety of pit lane once again. Dan Smith, your control car, he's on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air. Fantastic restart for car 47.
Yeah, that was really impressive by Dan Smith. He shot out of there like a rocket, with Ryan Sellers in second, Jeffrey Stanton in third, and Rich Foreman in fourth. See, Rich is taking a really low line, trying to get up to those second and third place cars.
Wow, Ryan Sellers got company back there for the second position. Stanton riding right on his rear Nerf bar. Now he's going to shoot to the outside. Can he make it a drag race down the back straightaway? He will. Side by side, nearly looking 3 wide there into corner number 3.
And if you're Dan Smith, you want to see those guys start fighting for position back there, because that's going to help him try and get away from this gaggle of cars in second, third, fourth, fifth, and so forth.
Sellers off track from Success Boulevard. He's on Struggle Street now, losing positions back there, and he's about to lose another one. Sellers fading just almost outside of the top 5 now.
Yeah, very unusual so far. He's fighting back on the inside, but may not have the setup quite right for these conditions. I'm not sure.
Mic off.
He just gets a little bit loose, and I have a feeling he's trying to set his car up for the long run here, and he just gets a little bit loose here. You can see him wiggle there once again. These guys just be able to get that better run there off of the corners, and that's really hurting Sellers.
Yeah, and I've noticed with these cars, especially on exit of the turn, and some guys are really getting loose coming off the turn, but if you're on the bottom in particular, those guys sometimes have a hard time keeping it straight.
You see Sellers now trying to fight down low and see if he can get a better run off this time. He's fighting for the 4th position. Love going to try to cut him down just a little bit, and it's going to pay off that time by. Sellers has nothing for him yet, and he may have even more company back there. Sean Hatfield trying to look to gain that 5th position now.
Yeah, he tucks in right behind him, and I would suggest on a track as big as this with these speeds, the draft's going to play a role as well. If you can stay tucked in behind a car, at least on the straights, that's going to help you keep your momentum and try and make a move into the next turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you don't normally think of a sprint car as the most aerodynamic thing in the world, but they do provide a little bit at this highest speed. You can see just how low they sit to the ground of these asphalt sprints. So these guys...
Let's look up front. Dan Smith has some company. Jeffrey Stanton is slowly but surely closing in on him. He's taking a much higher line, it looks like, into these turns.
Yeah, you know, I have a feeling we said that these guys set their car up for particular grooves earlier. I think Stanton really has his set up for that higher line, probably, you know, mid to high groove here. And it's really working for him so far. You had mentioned something about the progressive banking earlier, Tyler, and he's utilizing that to the full extent.
Yeah, I think that's what you need. You know, you need to set up your car to stick with the lane that's going to work, but also have the adaptability and the setup to where if you do have a car in front of you running the same lane, you can try and adapt and overcome that person blocking you in the front. But right now he is coming, train going down the tracks really fast right now. And again, if you are Dan Smith, this is not what you want to see. But again, only lap 15, so maybe Dan's trying to conserve his tires a little bit. We just don't know.
Yeah, it is still early on in this race, but you can see laps ticking by real quick here, and Stan trying to find something early. We have yet to see him win one of these races here in a broadcast. So, we know he's been fast every week, top 3 contending car. Can he get it done here tonight? As Smith now has company to his outside. He sees a number 94 in his rear view trying to peek.
He's just inching closer and closer, and they're side by side going to the start-finish line. About a dead heat that time around.
Smith to the inside, Stan to the outside now. Side by side battle, this time down the back straightaway. They work their way off of corner number 2. Now drag race down into turn number 3. You can see just how racy he is right up against the outside wall of Stanton.
And what a great battle. Just 2 guys going at it. 2 totally different lanes. It's almost like slot cars out there.
Yeah, unbelievable racing so far. And you can see back behind him, side-by-side battle for second place as well. But these guys really going at it here.
I think Dan might have him. Sorry, Stanton might have him this time going into the turn, but nope. Dan's right back there to his inside.
I thought maybe a little bit of a wiggle that time for the 47 there. That last time off of 4. And now Stanton has him cleared. These guys both running separate lines here right off the rip, though, so they're going to try to go back at it once again.
Yeah, every time I think that Stanton's going to pull away, Smith just comes right back on his inside and gets up right next to him.
Stanton's really, really good off of turn 2, but I think Smith is just better out of 3 and 4 altogether. I think he's able to roll off the exit better on the bottom there, and that's really what's keeping these guys held together.
Yeah, something changed because I thought that Stanton was better in 3 and 4, but you're right. The last few laps, it's actually been Smith who was the better driver come out of there. But man, they're still side by side. It's hard to tell. Every single lap, I feel like they keep going at it. Yeah, there's action all around this track, though. We got side-by-side battles throughout the field, and it's hard to keep track of everyone and what they're doing.
You got a battle back there for the second as well, and you can see Rich Foreman and Derek Love trying to go out of Love, trying to make his way up into a podium position now, and he's going to be able to do just that. Now he slides back, and this isn't the first time these guys have, thought they settled it out, but they go back side by side here every once in a while, and they've kind of reeled the rest of the field back to them.
No, they have, and they're they're side by side sometimes in the turns, and they kind of get back together in line on the straights. But hey, Ryan Sellers, still in 5th. He was falling back there in the beginning, but he stabilized.
And you can see these guys still battling up front for the lead. Stanton still riding to the high side. Smith still down low. Unbelievable.
I mean, this is at least 10 laps of just side-by-side racing for the top 2 drivers. I mean, that is just really impressive, and I mean, what a great way to start the season. I knew when I saw Iowa on the schedule, it was going to be a great one. I mean, I can't. I'm just amazed, Brandon. I really am.
I know. I'm sitting here watching this, and, these guys, I knew Iowa was going to provide really, really good racing, but these guys have all been working their butts off, and I'm sure coming into a new season, they had a week off. They're going to spend all their time prepping for this opening race. These guys really, really close in times and, running multi-groove. I didn't think I'd be able to see a sprint car run in Iowa right against the wall.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a unique track for these cars. I'm not sure if they run these in real life, But they like to have at least one wild card race from what I understand in the series. And not only are we coming to Iowa, we're also going to Rockingham, which I think is going to be a true wild card. So just a lot of diversity in the schedule. And I mean, again, it's only race one of the whole season. I can't wait to see what happens the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you talk about Rockingham being on the schedule. That's a real wild card, especially in these cars. That place is tough as it is. Now, add 900 horsepower, no downforce on top of that, Tyler. You're in for a treat.
We almost had some contact there. I think that was for 4th and 5th position, and now the caution is out somewhere else out on the track.
Yeah. Oh, one car up and over Josh Batista.
Charging battery.
And it looks like all by himself. We'll go back on replay and watch it. He got squirrely off of... I couldn't tell you what happened there, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take another look at that because...
Looks like...
Oh, yes. He got, like we talked about before, he was running that real low groove. And he just got loose and was basically spending the entire backstretch trying to save it, and actually ended up having contact with another car. I have to take another look and see who that was, but ended up flipping over into the infield road course. So just a bizarre...
Jason Steinhurst was the other car involved in that, so tough break for him. And yeah, he went for a ride over the infield wall where the road course sits here at Iowa Speedway, and unbelievable ride. That car just snapped right. It was really, really odd. But yeah, you can see he did get loose just a little bit, and that sent him for a ride.
Well, and like I said, I ran some test laps here earlier, and I mean, you really, especially if you get on the throttle too fast on corner exit, in particular if you're in the lower groove, it is very easy for that car to start breaking away. And again, once you start kind of fishtailing down the straightaway, you're in trouble.
I would like to point out, Jeffrey Stanton did get awarded with the race lead when the caution came out. So he was ahead of Dan Smith when the caution came out. So a little bit of an advantage for Stanton. These guys, he can pull the whole field right against the outside wall with a single file restart. And I believe you're going to find that he's going to be at a little bit of advantage here coming to green.
No, that is a huge advantage. And again, we're on lap 29 of 40. So the clock is ticking. I mean, the laps are winding down. And I think at this point, you really want track position. And as we look through the rest of the field, so we got Stanton in first, Dan Smith in second place, Derek Love is right now in third, Ryan Sellers back in fourth, Rich Foreman's rounding out the top five, Sean Hatfield is in sixth, Mitch Drewski is seventh, Austin Rich Miller is in eighth, Gwendolyn Old is still in the ninth, and rounding out the top 10, it is, and I'm going to mispronounce this again, I apologize, Shunsuke Tashima. Hope we're pronouncing that right. That's your top 10 at this moment.
Yeah, and, I hate to go back and talking about the same subject over and over again, but Iowa Speedway, super, super racy track for these guys. And it's not just for the lead. There's battles that we couldn't really even focus on. We had to try to focus on the more intense battles, but there's battles all the way throughout the top 10 and some pretty good racing at that. So really, really impressive showing here for the iRacing Sprint Car Cup here so far.
No, I mean, again, I knew this is going to be a great race, but I'm really amazed with the quality of the battles that we've witnessed here at this venue. Just, again, I think the progressive banking plays a major role in that. But, our producer was kind of yelling at us while we were focusing on the leaders because there's just so much action happening. And, man, I wish they did this in real life because at Iowa, because I'd buy me a plane ticket and fly out here immediately. This is just so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I had mentioned before, too, USAC used to bring their national midget championship here. They had the Silver Crowns here at one point. I don't believe the sprint cars have ever run here, but Silver Crowns definitely put on a good show here, as they always do. So, these cars definitely giving it their all here, and some insane speeds at that. These guys running wheel to wheel at over 165 miles an hour, which for a short track car, and typically these guys hit 110, 120 at a regular short track. Hitting speeds almost up to 170 is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be approaching, I would say, the top speed for these cars. I mean, it will be curious later in the year to watch what they do at Rockingham. That's another, larger, that's actually a track that's larger than this, but, it's kind of a different racing surface. And so maybe we'll see some fast speeds there as well. But either way, I'm amazed at what we're witnessing tonight.
And you can see it on your screen. Lights are out up on top of the iRacing official pace car. Jeffrey Stanton going to be the control car. Dan Smith right behind him. Those two were having the battle of a century up there for the race lead. Can Dan Smith get underneath him again? Pace car going to be pulling down into the safety of the infield this time by Stanton entering the restart zone. He's on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air once again here at Iowa.
Pretty good restart there by Stanton, but Dan Smith, I think there was some contact further back through the field. No caution yet. Dan Smith was diving to the inside there. Probably about a 3-car gap at this point, but he's again diving to the inside, trying to make that move.
Hard down to the inside and not quite able to get underneath him, but he did close that gap just a little bit. Smith may have a little bit of company to his outside now. Derek Love trying to show them some love up there as it's going to be 3 cars under a blanket.
Derek Love is, that's not what you want to see if you're trying to take the lead right now, Dan Smith. But again, he keeps peeking to the inside. I'm not sure. They're almost side by side right now. I can't tell if Dan's car gets a little bit better as the run goes on, but has the advantage and then just loses it just a tad going down the backstretch.
Coming down through turns 3 and 4, caution flag flies once again, and 1 car up and over into the catch fence. That's going to be Austin Rich Miller. Wow. Huge wreck down there as we look at the replay. He got loose down the back straightaway. Collected Gwendolyn Old. Huge hit for both of those cars up to the outside safer barrier. And Rich Miller goes up into the outside catch fence, bounces off. And Old back there went for a ride as well. She went up and over and into the same spot that our last incident went.
Listen, I've heard they do not like racing road courses in this series, and you especially do not want to end up on the road course at this track for this particular race, and we've seen that happen twice now. So that's a tough break for Gwendolyn Old. He was running a solid, I think, top 10 pretty much the entire race, and just again, we've seen some pretty crazy flips in these vehicles, but again, these are cars that aren't necessarily designed to hit these speeds. And Austin Rich Miller went for a wild ride as well up against the fence.
Yeah, we had said earlier that these speeds can make for some sketchy moments, and that's about as sketchy as they get, as we almost sent 2 cars out of the ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, when you're flipping upside down, especially in an open cockpit vehicle like this, I know it's just a video game, but it's still not fun. Well, yeah, my producer just yelled a simulator, but either way, it's not fun whether it's real life or on iRacing.
Yeah, some of these guys had mentioned earlier, and I think it was definitely Austin Rich Miller, the car that we almost sent out of the ballpark. Is the goal is not to be on TV replay. Well, Austin, that didn't work out too well. I hate to break it to you there, buddy.
Yeah, that's a tough break for the safety rating too. I know we kind of this feels like a league. We talk about it all the time, but this is also an official series of iRacing. So if you care about safety rating, and again, you have to keep, I believe it's a B level or higher to run in this official series. So you got to be cognizant of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I had thought that Dan Smith had taken over the lead there at the time of caution, but lead still holding with Jeffrey Stanton, and I think it's because I don't think it's where the caution flag flies. So caution laps do not... Yeah, caution laps do not count here, so it reverts back to whoever was leading the last time across the start-finish line. So Jeffrey Stanton kind of lucked out because Smith was coming in hot there before the caution came out. So give Stanton another opportunity to lead the field back to the green flag here.
And I know I said previously that track position is really important, but the way those top two were going at it, I'm not sure if it really matters who was first or second. They're going to end up side by side. I would be disappointed we don't have a photo finish for the win, the way this race has gone. But, you know, we look back through the field. We've got Stanton still in first, Smith second, Derek Love is third, Ryan Sellers is still in fourth, and rounding out your top five will be Rich Foreman.
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
think the lights are still on the pace car, so hopefully one more lap to go before we go green.
Yeah, that's one thing about Iowa Speedway is pace laps feel like they take forever, but lights are out this time. Pace car driver scared me there for a second. Lights are out this time by, and it'll be Jeffrey Stanton leading the field back around to the green.
Well, Brand, are you looking forward to any particular track the rest of the season in this series?
I have to say Rockingham. I just think it's going to be a real interesting race, and I think when you had mentioned the speeds here versus there, I think speeds are going to be slower there, but I think it's going to be a more technical race. That place has got so much character in it, and I think it's going to provide a real interesting show here for these guys.
Yeah, you stole my pick, but I also think South Boston, a real bull ring of a track. I think that's going to be a different kind of excitement. I think that's about midway through the season as we're getting ready to go green.
So pace car pulls off to the safety of pit road. Stanton immediately on the gas. Great restart. His green flag is back in the air.
Yeah, that was a perfect restart by him. He gunned it just right. Had those top few cars behind him a little bit, but we've seen gets out to a great start and they start reeling him in.
So Stanton trying to fight up to the outside. Two cars back behind him in a little bit of a battle. Derek Love trying to take over that second position once again.
It just seems like Smith gets to that inside. He starts surging in the turn, and then once they get on the straights, he just doesn't have quite the momentum. I think there's some contact maybe further back in the field. We're still green. Pretty spread out at the moment, but these top three, put them under a blanket. Oh, we've got a low car coming down off the apron in turn number one. That could have been disastrous. Oh, Ryan Sellers, I believe. Oh, never mind. Ryan Sellers is also slow.
Yeah, Ryan Sellers slow. That's last season's champion. You can see the battle for the lead has been turned over to Dan Smith. Smith is clear Jeffrey Stanton now, and we'll see if Stanton can try to fight back at the outside once again. Smith looking like he's in really good shape, pulling away just a little bit now.
Yeah, right now he has the lead. We've only got a few more laps to go. I know Stanton's going to try to make that high line work again. See if he can get the run coming down the straight. Not quite.
He's right there, though. He's not far off of the back bumper. Now you can see he tried to arc it in a little bit wider into the corner that time by. Entered a little bit lower, arced it way out wide, and he almost got next to him once again. These guys really trying to fight hard. Still three cars under a blanket.
Yeah, it's weird because Derek Love is running that lower groove for the most part, so he's more in line with our leader, Dan Smith. But, now Love is trying to make that pass. I think Stanton might just be a little bit used up.
Derek Love trying to fight down low. Does he have anything for your race leader? They're coming up on 2 laps to go this time.
Well, there goes Stanton making the crossover now on the inside for second place, and he's got it for now. We'll see if he can hold it. Goes way up high. I think Love is going to try and take it back, do the crossover. He's got it for now.
These guys fighting next to each other is exactly what Smith wants to see. This time by white flag flies at the flag stand one more time around for Dan Smith. All race long, they've been battling side by side, and you can still see the battle back there for second is not over yet. But now, as he goes through turns 3 and 4, hard-fought win for car number 47. It's Dan Smith that's going to win at Iowa.
Wow. If you're Dan Smith, you've got to be tired just mentally after that one. That was a great battle there for the lead. Pretty much it felt like the entire race with Jeffrey Stanton just side by side, lap after lap, just almost slot car racing. And hats off to him for getting the win tonight.
Yeah, absolutely incredible racing all night long. And we'll quickly run through our race results here. So, winning a hard-fought race, Dan Smith takes home the win here tonight. Derek Love managed to make his way. He started in the 6th position. He made his way all the way up to 2nd, finishing runner-up, passing Stanton there in the closing laps. Jeffrey Stanton finishing in that 3rd position. He fought hard for the race lead all night. Rich Foreman back there finishing in 4th. Sean Hatfield in 5th. Robbie Swan making his way from 17th to 6th. Shinsuke Tashima going to be making his way all the way up to the 7th position. Finishing 8th is going to be Ron Quinzel. Michael Birthday going to be finishing in 9th. And Daryl Wagner going to be finishing... Weininger, sorry. Daryl Weininger going to be finishing in the top 10, rounding out your top 10, Tyler.
In 11th, just outside of your top 10, is Joseph Segala. Started 19th. That was pretty big pickup for him. On his outside in the 12th position, it is Brian Payne. In 13th, Jason Steinhurst. I think he had an incident there towards the beginning of the race, but, pretty decent recovery by him. In 14th, Josh Batista. In 15th, the 20 of Samuel Martin. And the last car on the lead lap, your pole sitter, and the guy who's really been pretty dominant so far once we broadcasted, Ryan Sellers, I think had some issues there towards the end of the race. Ended up 16th. First car a lap down was the number 11 of D.L. Lemon. In 18th is Travis James. 19th, Mitch Drowski. Rounding out the top 20 is going to be Austin Rich Miller. Tough break for him. Started 7th, had that big wreck. And then Gwendolyn Old in 21st, also involved in an accident, 9 laps down. TJ Hassan in 22nd was the last car to start. And then Julian Valadez did not start in 23rd.
So, going down to victory lane, you can see him trackside now, and I'm making my way over.
Hey guys.
See, down here with 2nd place finisher.
Yeah, this is Derek. Yeah,
our producer is having trouble over here. So I've caught up with 2nd place finisher Derek Love, and Derek, hard fought battle. You started all the way back there in the 6th position, worked your way up to a runner-up finish. How you feeling after tonight?
Hey Brandon, feeling pretty good. Yeah, didn't really put it together in qualifying. Was definitely in practice up there in the top 3, as well as the teammates. And just I actually got too tight. I changed the gear right in qualifying, and it tightened the car up too much, and just couldn't put together the laps there. But I knew I had long run. We did a practice race yesterday, and I knew my car was going to come in late, and so I leaned on that confidence, and the cautions played in my favor, and everything worked out in the end. Pretty happy with that finish.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely hard fought there, especially at the end there. You're able to take over the 2nd position from Jeffrey Stanton. Is there anybody that you want to thank, give a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for putting this on. Street Side Classics, main car sponsor, and then of course the teammates, DRR Speedworks, which is Dan who won this. Great start to the team here. Then Ryan, he didn't have too good of luck tonight, but he'll be back Thursday. Definitely putting the W up then. And Rich ran a real solid one as well, so we'll get Rich up there later in the week as well. So thank you much.
Awesome job, and thank you for talking with us, Derek. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, that's your second place finisher, Derek Love.
All right, I'm down here with our third place finisher. Rounding out the podium, it's the number 4 car of Jeffrey Stanton, who started 4th tonight. But Jeffrey, you had a really hard-fought battle there. Pretty much was swapping the lead throughout the whole race with Dan. How was your race? How fun was that?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was just trying to. I was set up to really run the top tonight. I enjoy running the top here anyway, so I was just like trying to just keep, same pace, same momentum. Try to get that momentum off exit while not overdriving the entry.
Yeah, was there anything really to it as the race went on? Did you try anything? I know you stayed pretty much towards the top as the race went on, but anything different you tried to try and get a little bit of advantage on him, or just kind of stuck with the same strategy throughout the race?
Yeah, I ran the 84 gear tonight, which it works a little bit better on the top than it does on the bottom, in my opinion. So I was just stuck with the top and just tried to keep the momentum up. I was just trying to back up my entry a little bit so I wouldn't burn off the right front as bad, because it was starting to get tight with the heat cycles with the yellows. I did not want to see a couple of those yellows there.
Well, I will tell you, yeah, you had some great restarts and got out to a pretty significant lead, but that was a great battle, really entertaining up here in the booth. Anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Napa Auto Parts of Rockwell, everyone else that supports me, and y'all for broadcasting.
Alrighty, well, great finish tonight, and congrats on the podium.
Thank you.
Back to you, Brandon.
Yeah, so now I've officially made it to victory lane. Thank you to our technical producer. But I'm down here now, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight at Iowa, Dan Smith. And Dan, hard-fought race all night long. How you feeling, man?
Wore out. I turn 51 years old tomorrow, and these young kids, man, I'm telling you, that was my wrist hurt. That was a hard race. Jeffrey, Jeffrey and I have been running this car for 8 or 9 years, and he's one of the guys that, I would not hesitate to do what we done tonight, the inside outside like that for I don't know how many laps. But yeah, man, it was a good race. I set my car up to run the bottom. I didn't want nothing to do with the middle or the top, and worked out that I was able to run down there. So other than there at the end, that was a big scare.
Well, happy birthday to you. And talk about those last couple of laps there. You had that late race restart. And Stan, you had to fight back from second. Of course, single file restarts kind of throwing a wrench in things. They handed Stan back the lead, and you had to fight for it again.
Yeah, the single file restarts in this car, the leader, there's an automatic cushion built in there when you're the leader on, even the green flag starts, the initial starts for the race. You're kind of responding to that driver, but we try to keep it where we go in the box at every track, and keep it on the up and up. But I didn't want to see that first caution come out, to be honest with you. I felt like if we could just keep doing what we were doing, I knew I could run it in a little bit harder if I needed to, so I knew Jeffrey's keeping the momentum going on the outside. But that caution come out, and there was a few choice words said in our team Discord. So I'll share them here. But each time it was a matter of fighting back. What I was worried about was us getting a green-white checker deal, because I knew it took a few laps to get rolling, and get that bottom to get up there beside him. So other than that, man, how about the other DR Speedworks cars? We went second, third, fourth, fifth tonight. So pretty good opening night for us as a team, that's for sure. Absolutely.
And is there anybody that you'd like to thank and give a shout out to here tonight for your winning performance?
I want to thank you guys for sticking with us, kind of showing up last season, doing some stuff, listening to, a lot of the people. I've read some of the, forum things and things like that, and I like how active you guys are. So I appreciate it, man, and I'm sure you'll see some appreciation tossed your way as we get going through the season here from different members of the sprint car community. It's small. but we all race hard, we race clean, and we try to put on good races. So hopefully you guys were entertained tonight. But other than that, my DRR Works Speedworks teammates, Ryan Sellers, Derek Love, Rich Foreman, man, we really do bust our butts week in and week out to make sure where we need to be. We're the ones that's responsible for the default sets in this car and sim, and so we try to keep everybody together. I know it don't seem like that at times when you look at the time, the time chart, but it really is that, man. This car just comes down to seat time. Did I read in the forums that one of you are going to race on Thursday nights?
That would be our technical producer, I believe, Corey Silva, is going to be racing. So yeah,
I can't wait for that. That's going to be exciting, man. That's going to be awesome.
Hey, I promise no skill, but I want to help you guys, and I like the car.
I think it'll help your broadcast out a lot, man. One thing you're going to find, there's not a lot of different people in and out of this car from week to week. It's a pretty tight-knit community. So you guys stick around, man. Like I said, there'll be some appreciation coming your way through the season, without a doubt. And we appreciate you guys a lot, showing up. Sometimes it's fun to watch yourself on a YouTube video, and say, oh, that was cool. Like I said, 50 years old, I still enjoy this sim racing. It's fun, man. So, yeah, thanks to you guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks to Jeffrey Stanton, too, for all the work that he does with the series. Without him, this series probably would have fell apart years ago. So, yeah, sorry I talk so much, but there you go, man. Now you know who Hillbilly Grill is in the Discord chat. So, you're ready to go now.
Awesome job tonight, and thank you so much for talking with us. Congratulations once again. And race fans, that's tonight's winner the night here at Iowa, Dan Smith. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to about do it. Tyler, final thoughts on tonight? I know it's a really good show, and I had fun watching.
I was locked in from start to finish. Some of the best 40 laps of racing I've ever seen. That got me completely. I was already sold in this series after the first few broadcasts, but I got to tell you, Brandon, what I witnessed tonight was just some of the best racing I've ever seen on the service. And hey, we're going back to Indianapolis Raceway Park for round 2 of this season. So another great track for these vehicles, and I can't wait till next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. And should be good racing. We saw a fantastic racing tonight all night long. And again, congratulations to everybody who came out here tonight and put on a show for us. And for myself, Brandon,